So yeah, thank you for having me and giving us a chance to present. So before I get into really what Circle Sports is about, I'm going to tell you a little story. And that story is about young people. Depending on what you read, they're described as Generation Y, or they're described as the lost generation in terms of what's happening in terms of the recession and everything else. But one thing that's very important about Generation Y is that they have so much information, they don't know how to process it. It's one of the big problems with them. And it gets to the stage where after they've looked through all the different types of media there is, they get information overload. So in our course, sometimes we get some of the strangest points. And this is one young girl, she said to me, "Do you know the Queen is an alien?" I said, "Chanel, where did you actually get that information from?" So Chanel Brown is 19, and when I asked her to share where she got the information from me, two things came up, which is quite prominent in young people: YouTube and my boyfriend. And from that deduction, she's now saying to me and telling everybody who's prepared to listen that the Queen is an alien. So some of these kids, they're wonderful, but they need guidance because there's so much information that's going on. So the other thing they don't do is they don't trust anybody. It's frequently the way it works. And what I want you to know about the two pictures is how close they are together and how much information they're sharing and how much they're smiling not. As it goes, because you need to build confidence and support in them, and they don't get to you unless you've had them for a little bit of time, and then they really warm to you, and then you can get your message across. So what is Circle Sports? Well, one of the big things about young people is that they don't get work because of the fact that frequently they have no experience, and that's also graduates as well, not just people who are classed as NEETs. So we give them the practical work experience, and they have to enroll on the Circle training course to focus or change their mindset, and we teach them subjects such as goal setting, which is a major problem of young people. They've never set any goals, so they bounce through life without really achieving anything. We get them work if they pass the course, and what happens is they get an employability in MVQ level 2 and 3. And also we have a 70% success rate, and so far in 18 months we have 33 full-time employees working, and 95% of them are still working after a year. Now, if we compare that to the work program, when the statistics came out about 6 weeks ago, I believe they're doing 3.5%. So for a small organization who can't carry the cash flow of something like the work program, we are punching way above our weight in terms of having one particular store. This is a report that was produced by McKinsey, and McKinsey, anybody knows them, do a lot of global surveys for many companies. What I want you to focus on is the 3 lines at the top there. It says, clearly employers need to work with education providers so that students learn the skills they need to succeed at work. We feel we bridge that gap, and I'm going to go through why we do that. The other thing that it talks about is that most skills initiatives today serve a few hundred or perhaps a few thousand young people. We must be thinking in terms of millions. That's where we want to go in the future. But also, more importantly, many skills initiatives now do not end with young people working. There are so many courses around that all it does is it delivers certain programs, but it doesn't deal with the issue, which is they're not working, and they frequently go back to what they're doing, and then we blame them for things like the riots. So I think that a different approach is needed. So the first thing that we do is the course that when they enroll, we take them to the hub in Westminster, and the reason why we do that is because we all know that there's arguments about postal code wars. Having the event in central London means we can have all the different areas together, and we don't have any of this problem with the postal code wars that they talk about. You can see some of them getting involved in what we do in terms of the course. So what do they really need to learn? I just mentioned about education and potentially bridging the gap. So we looked at the key things young people really need to focus on in order to improve their life. So goal setting was the first thing that we wanted to work with. And I do the goal setting course, and it's completely inspirational and entrepreneurial. We use Jerry Maguire in it and all sorts of things. The idea is not to make it feel like they're back at school, but to engage them so they can take our message on board. Customer service, for obvious reasons. Confidence building, which is a massive thing with young people. It's okay when they're all fighting in their local areas, etc. But if I ask them to sit in front of anybody for an interview, they can't look the interviewee in the eye. That skill's gone. So we've got bravado, but not proper confidence in terms of them being able to deliver things. They do personal presentation, CV development, social media, so they understand how recruitment and HR companies check their profiles online, and that they need to privatize them, and all those funny pictures in the beef are not good for other people to see. Motivational speakers and personal budgeting. Teamwork as well is a massive thing that they miss. And then job hunting at the end. All the coaching is delivered by people who are experts, and Ross Taylor delivered to Coots Bank, and she gives her time to come and teach these people about confidence as an example. They get real practical work experience in the sports store that we have, and which allows us to do a couple of things. Check their timekeeping, check their work ethic, is their customer service skills up to scratch, and also allows us to then coach them on a day-to-day basis. So here's an example of how it works. Michael, who came through our system, he's got his MBQ. He then delivers sport for the community. We helped him get his footballing badge, and we got him a job at Primark as well while he was doing that. And this is what we want to do for the future. Oh, that's my time as well.